Hello, Keith Keller, Melbourne, Australia. And we're doing another social audio tech check today. And I'm going to try a couple of little things. I'm just building this as we go. And if you've been following along, you know that I'm sort of always experimenting, which is why this graphic is so poignant. We're going to try multi-streaming to 3 places today: LinkedIn, YouTube, and Substack. Not Facebook as the graphic suggests, but Facebook is fine, but we use Substack. We're going to try it. If we get a chance, we're going to talk to our buddy Americo in Toronto about his new coaching program for this, which is pretty cool. It's pretty exciting. I think we're now at what we call early majority for Substack. It's been going a while, but it sort of was bubbling along mainly for writers. But now Substack has added a whole lot of new features. You may not have heard of it. You may not have tried it yet, but it's very, very, very cool. We're going to tell you about how that works today. If you do have any questions, please put those in the chat. Unfortunately, the Substack chat does not appear in my Restream feed, so I'll go and check that manually in a minute. And if you do want to know anything about what's coming up, go to whereiskeithtoday.com. So what I'm going to do now is I'll play a little bit of music to warm up the crowd, so to speak. And I'll also just go and see if any of my buddies are around. And if not, that's okay. I'll just ad lib for a while and play around with the settings. I just want to check that everything's working. So this is the theme song for my brand new show, which starts in November, called Repurpose 3030. There's a 7-second version and the 30-second and the 60-second version. I'll play the longer version. It's pretty funky. Okay, well, there we are. That's the 30-second version. Doesn't look like any of my buddies are awake, so that's okay. I'm just doing an experiment to see whether or not I can get 3 to work at once. And I've got a funny feeling that none of them have worked. I mean, I'm trying too much. So, well, there it is. LinkedIn is working, so that's good. I can do something with LinkedIn. I don't mind that. So we'll play around there. If it turns out that there isn't anyone here, I'll just ad lib for a while. I just want to do an experiment. I just want to see whether it's gone to Substack. I don't think it has, and that annoys me a bit. Let me just see. No, it doesn't appear to have worked for Substack. Someone's got to go first and work this out, and it's not working. So I'll just see why that is. That's a pity. That was the reason I wanted to do the experiment. Couldn't get it to work. And I'm pretty sure that it's working on YouTube. I probably don't have to check that because that works pretty simply. So, well, that's not very good. The experiment to Substack didn't work. So what I'll do is I'll play one song, see if I can get someone in to have a bit of fun. And if not, well, that's okay. I'll just kill it and try it again next week. You got to try these things. I'm going to play a song that Americo, my mate from Toronto, has been inspired by. He believes that live streaming is the trick that gets your audience to click.
Live streaming is the trick to get your audience to click. The live streaming tech is ready. The mic and studio set. Is the audience here yet? They better be, it's a show they will never forget. Hearts are racing. This is the moment, the one we've been waiting for. Live streaming is the trick to get your audience to click. Is your personal brand fading? The choices, online events, social authority rising, engaging vibes. Followers keep moving, your network stands still. We're changing those in the deal. The engagement is heating. Fans call out your name. This is no longer a dream. Live streaming is the trick to get your audience to click. Live streaming is the trick to get your audience to click. Events are the spark, audience, the fuel you crave. They said it would never work, now you wanna go live again. You no longer fade, no longer hide. You're born to ignite, you're the energy burning bright. Live streaming is the trick to get your audience to click. Live streaming is the trick to get your audience to click.
There it is. I'm happy to ad lib. I might just practice this, what we call talking to the rooster. So I'll just try this again. I really, really want to work out whether Substack can work. It didn't work, so that's the whole experiment gone. But what we are doing is we're experimenting with multi-streaming, and we believe that Substack has reached early majority here. A lot of people are hearing about it, and a lot of people are using it. And we will be doing a lot of new shows about this in the near future. So what I'm going to do is I'll play one more song because I'm sort of in the mood. And if that doesn't work, then I'll just write it off and try again next week.
Live streaming is the trick to get your audience to click. The live streaming tech is ready. The mic and studio are set. Is the audience here yet? They better be, it's a show they will never forget. Our hearts are racing, this is the moment, the one we've been waiting for. Live streaming is the trick to get your audience to click. Live streaming is the trick to get your audience to click. Is your personal brand fading? The choice is online events. Social authority rising, engaging vibes. Followers keep moving, your network still. We're chasing awareness, we're closing the deal. The engagement is heating. Fans call out your name, this is no longer trade. Live streaming is the trick to get your audience to Get your audience to click. Events are the spark, audience the fuel you crave. They said it would never work. Now you wanna go live again. You no longer fade, no longer hide. You're born to ignite. You're the energy burning bright. You're the energy burning bright. Live streaming is the trick to get your audience to click. Click, 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 click. Live streaming is the trick to get your audience to click. Live streaming is the trick to get your audience to click. Live streaming is the trick to get your audience to click.
We're back, and I have a brand new sound, for my guests. When a guest arrives, I play this little second jingle. You're listening to KKFM in Melbourne, Australia. I always wanted to be a radio announcer. So, Lachelle, jump in and tell us what you've been doing. I am actually doing lots and lots and lots of experiments. And Bez is there too. Jump in, mate. Put your thumbnail on if you can. What have you been doing? Have you been playing around with Substack? It's a pretty funky thing, isn't it?
I really like Substack. I've been AWOL though because I had to travel. I have a aunt who was very ill, and they have just decided to put her in hospice. So I was traveling and I was seeing a lot of the posts and everything that you're doing. So I'm glad I was able to catch you and see that, the only way you learn and grow is just jumping right in and doing it. So I am here to take notes on all the things that you've been finding out about Substack. So glad to be here.
Oh, look, I'm extremely excited. And is everyone okay? She's settled now. She's comfortable. She's in the zone.
Yeah, well, she's actually in hospice. They're putting her in hospice, so the prognosis is not good. But she lived a full life. She's 72, and she was really going through a lot of suffering. She's been in the hospital since July. So, it was a great visit, though. She was alert and she knew I was there. And when we were leaving the last day, is when she just got very despondent and not really interacting with everybody. So I feel good that I was able to see her
Yeah,
and she knew I
say
was
goodbye
there.
in those final, those sort of those lucid moments.
Yeah. So it's part of, we everybody has their day. I tell my kids we all have a expiration date.
Well,
And
you may
so
not know this, but Ace Frehley died today.
who did?
Ace Frehley, you might not know that name. He was the
Mm.
guitarist from Kiss.
Oh, okay. I'm familiar with Kiss, but I didn't know his name. Oh,
74. So
yeah.
that's the zone, isn't it? That's
Mhm.
pretty young for a man, but not so young for a muso. We've seen him in concert. He was a bit of a dude, and that's a bit of a sad day. But everyone has their day, don't they?
Yeah, it's true. I think the more we, face that truth, the easier it is because then, you can just take that off the table. I think this whole wondering when it's going to happen, it really kind of prohibits a lot of your growth and opportunities because you have this fear. But once you just embrace the fact that, okay, I'm not going to be here forever, I don't know. For me, that was my thing. I realized that I want to really make the most out of each opportunity that I have. And even now, I have more fire because I see that, my aunt, her days are numbered, and I just want to do something that she can't. So it gives me even more.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's exactly how I approach it always. Whenever I hear these things, okay, what's on the list? What's yet to do? Let's get on with it. We haven't got forever. Is there
mhm,
anything left undone? And it's look,
absolutely.
it's a great lesson. Is there anything left undone?
Mhm,
And 74 is a good age, and
mhm.
we do our thing. So I'll just fill you in, and Bez, I'll bring you in a minute on this. What we've been doing is we've been doing robust, really, really, really robust experiments on Substack. And yesterday, I was able to get Substack to work with Restream, and it was a fantastic show. We had 9 people live on the call, like live
Oh, that's
in the
amazing.
room. In the room, it was amazing. Maybe my best show. Really, really, really dynamic. What really happened? This is quite amazing. I had it. I was sending it to YouTube, LinkedIn, and Substack. LinkedIn didn't work. Right.
Oh.
I didn't know why. I couldn't work out why. I still don't know why. Today, YouTube and LinkedIn worked, but Substack didn't work. Right. Someone's got to work this out. Right. So that's me. That's
Mm.
what I do. So for some reason, Substack didn't work. Now I still don't know why. I've got to work that out yet. But we have quite a lot of potential here when it does work, because it's going to go off. Like, I mean, the great advantage, I've worked out that there's 4 major advantages with sending your stuff to Substack. One is it's a fantastic alternative to LinkedIn if LinkedIn doesn't work. And I'm not the only one saying that they're having trouble getting their LinkedIn shows to work. A lot of people are telling me this. Like, I mean,
Mm.
you spend months and months prepare. Imagine, Lachelle, I got this 4-part series. Imagine this. I've got this 4-part series. I plan it for a month. I run it for a month. And 10 minutes before the show, I go, look, you know what? I don't know if it's going to work.
Yeah.
I can't live like that. I can't get creatively excited about things I don't know are going to work or not. I got to know, because I'm planning it. 100 people are coming. I mean, it's like having a big party and they can't get into the door.
Yeah, that's really true.
And so anyway, we don't know why this stuff's not working, and nobody knows. Like, I've asked a lot of questions. No one seems to know why, but we are playing around with it. So that's the first thing. Substack is a very, very, very good alternative to LinkedIn. Second of all, I'm getting massive engagement there, massive by comparison. Like, I sent the file to YouTube, I got 7 views. 7. I sent the replay to Substack, I got 88 views overnight. Same
Mm.
file, same material, same effort, same effort. 88 people saw it on Substack, 7 people saw it on YouTube, right?
Wow.
Same effort. So that's the second thing. It's a very, very good alternative to YouTube's engagement. Third, this is so cool. When you add, and you know this, Lachelle, when you add a video to Substack, it creates little mini videos for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us about how that works for you, because most people haven't heard of this story.
Yeah, I just tried it. I jumped in head first, and I'm really intrigued by being able to multi-stream, such as what you're talking about. I haven't tried that. So for me, when I went live, I did it on my phone because I could not figure out how to do it on my laptop. So um, I'm interested in hearing how to go about doing this. And then when you I know there's something like with the key or something. When you have it stream on Substack, do you give that key to other people for them to have it on their platform also? Or is it just you're going live and then they're just a part of your show?
Yeah, it's a very complicated procedure. So what happens? It's called RTMP. What that
Mm-hmm.
means is real time messaging protocol, which is basically a glorified word for saying, if it's not a default, just use this one. Right?
Mm.
It's everything. It's the everything else button. Right?
Okay.
So if there's a new site that comes out and there's no defaults or no template, then you can use what's called RTMP, real time messaging protocol. It's extremely difficult to do, but
Mm.
um, but we got it working yesterday. And what happens? It's very cool. What happens when you go into Substack? You push create, just
Mm-hmm.
as if you're creating a post, and then you'll get this little note that says create live video, and you push on
Mm-hmm.
that, and then it says create a key, and you push on that,
Mm-hmm.
and then you put that key inside of Restream or OBS or StreamYard.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't go live on your PC inside of Substack. You have to use the third party. I use Restream,
I
but you
see.
could use StreamYard. So yesterday I got it to work, and it was a glorious show. We had 9 people on it. Amoli was there, Jim was there, some of the OGs came, because we're all very excited to get this to work. We're so excited. We want to get it to work. And so they all came in, and no one's got this feature yet. Like, no one's got it. So
Mm-hmm.
I hassled the shit out of Substack, and I got this robot that said, "Sorry, Keith, we don't have that feature available in your town yet." Well, when is it going to be available? We don't know. Have I solved your question? Can I go away? No. When am I going to get it? Well, I'm going to.
Mm-hmm.
It was just just a bit of a circular argument. Went on for about 10 minutes. And I wasn't talking to a real person. I was just talking to a chatbot. And I said, okay, look, I've got to give this up. I just got to give this up. And so I just went away. This is on Tuesday. And then yesterday I woke up, I thought, I'm going to try again. And it was there.
Mm.
So by hassling the shit out of the chatbot, I got their attention, and they gave me the feature. But it's brand new. Like, not everyone has it. And the way to find out if you do have it is go to Substack and click create, and there'll be a drop down box that says create live video. And if you don't have that box, you don't have the feature, right? And you just have to wait, or ring someone. So it's pretty interesting. Bez, I'd love to hear how you use Substack. Have you heard this? Have you heard about this new feature, this sort of RTMP?
Yes, I've heard about it. I just haven't used it yet.
Have you got it?
Let me. Well, I have more than 10 subscribers, so I'm pretty sure I have it. Let me double check. Hang on. So I go to my Substack, right? And
You go to
where's my
Substack and then create that little. Everything's orange on Substack, very funky orange. And you go to and it says actually, let me just see. You go to create, and it should say something like create new video. Like, Substack's quite hard to use. Like, it's not very intuitive, but someone's got to work this out. Oh, there we go. Worked it out. So what you do is you go on your homepage, you go to your dashboard button. If you want to try this at home, go to your dashboard.
I'm doing it right.
Yeah, and then push create new, and then you'll have a drop down box that'll have text post, video post, audio post, new note, new chat, new live video. And I'll send you this screenshot. And if you've got it, you've got it. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
And then
so
what
it says
you do is
get the Substack app to start a live video. So you have to get the app, right?
no,
Or
underneath
or stream
it
with
says
a stream key.
or stream with the stream key.
Yeah. Okay, I got
And then
it.
you click on that, and you get a key, and then you put that. Like, I mean, no one's going to
Okay.
bother with this. Like, I mean, there's so many steps that no one's going to bother. But the point is, because no one's going to bother, no one's going to do shows like this. Like, our shows are going to be unique because it's just too bloody hard, right? Everyone's doing video on phone because everyone's got a phone, and it's easy to do. But I want to be the guy that does something that no one's doing. I mean, when was the last time you saw a show that looks like this? I've never seen one. I've never seen
Been
a
a
show that
while.
looks like this. Never.
Yep. Yep. You're
And I want to
right.
be that guy. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Right.
but anyway,
Right
that being
on.
said, I
Yeah.
didn't get it to work today, so I'm not that clever. But I did get it to work on LinkedIn. And this is what happened. What I did, yes, this is a very cool thing. What I did yesterday was I took the file because I've got the pro version of Restream now. You have to have the pro version to use this feature. It costs 30 Australian dollars, 19 US dollars. I'm just going to run it as an experiment, maybe for a month or two. So $30, but I get 10 people on stage and I get this feature. It records and it gets a lot of cool features. So I got the recording and I manually loaded it to Substack yesterday, and it had 88 views overnight. Right now, that we were comparing this to YouTube. YouTube, I had 7 views. Same material, same show, same amount of effort, and I got
Okay.
10 times more views.
Gotcha.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess it's not laziness. It's just it's common sense. You know, why send stuff to why send a photo? Why send why send something to YouTube and get 7 views when you can send it to Substack and get 88 views? I mean, if you're going to do something, I mean, you send it to YouTube for fun, but no one's watching YouTube. No one's watching these shows on YouTube. They're watching really high level shows. I mean, just try an experiment. Just try any random person you know at our level, not Stephen Bartlett, but anyone you know at our level. Try it. Just go to your website and try any number of people you know, and everyone's getting like 50 views. And if they aren't, please let me know, because I want to know how they're doing that, and I'll try that experiment too. Do you get a lot of engagement on your YouTube videos, Lachelle? If you do, can you please give me the secret?
I really don't get a lot of traction on YouTube. One of the things, though, I feel that I'm probably lacking in is being more intentional with highlighting the fact that I'm going to be there. So, like when I do a live, like I had a live that was on earlier, it was pre recorded. I had it go live, but I don't really take the time to promote the fact that I'm going to be on a live, because a lot of it is just very spontaneous and, in the moment. It's not something that I have that's part of a regular revenue stream of some sort. So I don't really have a very rigid process with it. But I believe if I create a process around it, that I could get more engagement,
Yeah, well,
because you could be more intentional around what's the theme going to be for this week or this month. And, you could create a whole campaign around it, but I
campaign.
just haven't had the bandwidth for that right now.
Yeah, well, as you know, I'm taking October off, and I'm deliberately trying lots and lots of new things that I've never tried before. And I'm just exactly doing what you just suggested. Did it work? So yesterday we ran a live show, went 90 minutes, 9 people came, and because it didn't go on LinkedIn, I have no idea how many people. No one watched it because it wasn't on. 7 people watched the show on YouTube. 7, not very exciting. But then I downloaded the replay, and so far that video has had 90 views. Now, it did take a bit of time, but one of the things that I'm very interested in is that I've been doing 3 shows a week for like 3 years, and people go, "Mate, what do you do with them?" Well, they take me so much time. We all know this. I haven't got time to go back and fix them. I haven't got time to go back and edit them. I'm too busy doing the shows. And it occurred to me, well, maybe what I'll do moving forward, and I'll be experimenting with this in November, I'm going to do the show, but I'm also going to put it on Substack and see if I can get an additional audience that can't come to the real show. So I'm very happy to do the show as is. 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It's a lot of fun. It's my professional hobby, if you like. I love doing them. I love sitting in the chair and playing songs and trying to pretend I'm famous. I love that.
So how many clips did they provide for you?
Yeah,
Like,
they
how
give you
long was
4.
your show
They
that
give you
this
4
got?
clips. I think they give you 4 clips, so that might be their limit. They give you 4.
I
And
don't know. I think I got 6
oh
for
wow,
mine.
okay. Well, our show went
But it was a shorter show.
Oh,
Okay. I
wow.
think I did mine for like let me see. I think I can go into my history and see. I want to think it was 6 of them.
Well, that is great.
Mhm. Let me go back in here and see. But yeah, so I was just kind of curious, but it had the captions and everything on your clips that
Yeah.
they sent you.
Yeah, it's very
Let's
cool.
see
It's
here.
like it's
1, 2,
extremely
3,
cool.
4, 5, 6, 7. They sent me 7.
Maybe on the app you
Mhm.
get. So
Now that was on my phone
yeah, I
that I did that.
it's very important that we know this stuff because I love using my PC. That's just what I do. I love my PC. I don't use my phone almost ever. Like I have one, but sometimes I wonder why I even have one because I never use it. But a lot of people, and the world is set up. The world, the 21st century, the 2020s, they're set up for people on their phones. I get it. So maybe it's optimized for the phone. And that's good because you don't need any special
Mhm.
software as long as you're prepared to talk to yourself on your phone, right?
Mhm.
Which you do in your car. Yeah, you do these little funky videos in your car, and they're very cool, aren't they?
Yeah, now let me ask you this. Are the videos that or the clips that they gave you, are they all landscape
Yeah,
or
landscape.
okay, so that might be why, because the ones that they sent me on my phone were portrait, the vertical.
Yeah.
So maybe that there is something with the optimization of that, platform for whatever, it's optimized for whatever platform
Yeah,
you're on.
it gives it. Look, it's a very important point. We gotta play around with what we do. Bez, I'm very interested in this. What if you were going to use Substack? I know you're very busy, but what would you do? How would you do it if you were going to do it?
Well, a couple things. I might speak to well, for sure I'll use one I'll use it around careers. So it could be I can collect emails and then get them into my ecosystem for my career coaching program. So I would definitely put articles, some posts, some video around that, you know. And then what I would do is um um I might do a different show, like an ad hoc show, depending on the season. And I've had some ideas on there, like a mini series, right? And it's something you might want to think about, maybe even doing a mini series that just lives for that. You're doing it because it's a season, and it pertains to something particular that's important to you in that season,
Yeah,
right?
this is very cool. Let's have this discussion. So, repurpose 3030, which starts on November 13th, on any station nearby, or whatever they say on the television. So it's a 4-season episode. Like it's going to be 4 parts. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, wrap up, and an after party. Right, that's it. That's it. I'm only running it for 4 weeks, and it's going to be very intense and very intentional. Right, and we'll just absolutely push hard on this, and then it'll go away. And I think you're right, Bez. I think that idea allows us to really focus, doesn't it? It's just 4 weeks. You can come or not, and there'll be a replay, but it's not going to be every week forever.
Right.
And those shows have a different energy, don't they?
Yes, because they're very compact, and they're very intentional, right? And you could do a Christmas show. You could do a spring show. I mean, and just have it like, like 5 days or something short, right? It's a series.
Yeah, with Anchor Day, which is a play available on all good service stations nearby. You know, it went for 12 weeks. It was every Wednesday from July till September, and I'll probably won't do that again. It was very intentional. 12 weeks. It's still there if you want to look at it. It was every Wednesday 10 a.m. For 12 weeks, and I think that energy allows us to be very, very focused, and then we can have a rest, and then we can recuperate, and then we think, well, what worked, what didn't. What I found was that Wednesdays at 10 a.m. weren't actually a very good time for people. I thought it would be, but it wasn't. So now I'm going to do it Tuesdays at 10 a.m. I'm going to try that for 4 weeks. So you test and measure. It's bloody good. I mean, I'm so excited. So what we're doing with Substack, it's quite difficult to do this to Substack, but it looks so good. Like, it looks so good. And as I said, I want you to consciously look for me. Try and find a show that looks like this. I have never seen anyone doing this. Right? Now, that might mean that I'm just crazy, but it also means that this show is very unique. And that fills me with a lot of excitement, because I don't want to do what everyone else is doing. I want to do something different. That's my brand. My brand is different. Yeah, I'm different. First of all, I'm an Australian. It's already tomorrow. I'm already ahead. So, yeah.
That's Faith. She's saying hello, my daughter.
Hello. Which one is Faith? Where does she sit?
She's the one that always talks to you behind the scenes.
The Generation Alpha.
Yes.
No, the
Generation Alpha.
the generation.
Did you see that video I sent you of Conan O'Brien in Australia?
Oh yeah, I did see that. That was good.
Oh man, it's like what's his name? Very famous Aussie actor who lives about 20 minutes from my house, or he has a house 20 minutes from my house, in a place called Mornington, which is on the beach. He said to Conan O'Brien, mate, I've noticed you've never been to Australia. You're going all over the world. Are you ignoring us? Very funny video. And Conan O'Brien meets up with this.
Yeah, I showed it to her. We watched it together.
It's very accurate. Like, it's extremely accurate. And some of those things you don't realize the language that you speak in your own town, because everyone's speaking it.
Yeah, true.
But like, for instance, I don't know if anyone does this, but AC/DC, which is a Melbourne band, maybe Australia's most famous band ever, maybe the best band in the world ever. That's a very contentious statement. They are from Melbourne, and we call them Akadaka. Akadaka. They're coming to Melbourne. They're playing in 2 weeks. We're going to see them. Angus Young is 74 years old, still playing guitar, lead, and all those really funky lead breaks in the boy suit. So, we have a funny way of speaking down here, and that video is so good. Like, it really, really, really,
it really was good. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
If you want to know how to speak Australian, you just have to find Conan O'Brien Comes to Australia.
Yeah, that was good. That was funny.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen that one, Bez. I'll send it to you. But it's very, very cool. So what we're doing today, and I don't want to do this for a very long time, but I wanted to just see whether I could get Substack to work. It didn't, but we did get LinkedIn to work. We're not quite sure why LinkedIn is so unreliable now. Does anyone have any theories on that? Am I the only one having trouble, or are other people experiencing this too?
I have not experienced that because, I usually go through the third party, and LinkedIn is not always my only platform. So I haven't really had that happen. It's happened a couple times, but that was a long time ago. Now I do have different what is it? Pages on LinkedIn where I, change up who I'm going through. So sometimes I'll go through my personal, then sometimes I'll go through my business, and then the other one is like a community that I have. So it just depends on the content. I switch up. So, but like I said, I'm really not real consistent with some of these lives. I will be doing more of them. One of the things I like to do is around the holidays, I do these podcast marathons. So I take all my content and schedule it for like a period of 2 weeks. I remember when I did that last year, um, I think I got like 8,000 impressions a day
Oh,
or something
wow.
like that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very seasonal.
Yeah. It was crazy. Yeah, because I just did like a run through of like every 3 hours because I have like 500 and something videos on YouTube. So
Yeah.
I just went ahead and did that so that I can have time off, but still be present. So,
Yeah. Very good.
mhm,
What we could do here, in spite of the fact that Substack hasn't worked, I think we are on the precipice of a very major change, and Substack is going to lead that. And I can tell you why. Substack is free to use, and they take 10% of what you make. Most sites take money up front and leave it up to you to make money. And if you don't make money, well, that's not their fault. They're still taking their money. But Substack is the opposite. They don't make money until you make money. So they're incredibly inspired to help you as a creator pay your way. I'm very inspired by this model because it'll cost me nothing to experiment with Substack. And then when I'm ready, I'll turn monetization on and I might be able to pay my internet bill or put petrol in my car or, you know, pay for my insurance bill. You know, so it's a very good model. What do you think of it, Bez? What do you think of this model of being free but then taking 10%? It's not unheard of, but it's quite unusual, isn't it? I know that Bez is experimenting with other community sites, and
mhm,
those community sites, whatever they are, there's a number of them. They take a fee up front,
mhm.
and that fee comes out whether you're making money or not. That's not their fault if you're not making money. That's not their job. Their job is to provide the tech for a monthly fee ongoing. And that's okay if you've got a community, but what if you're just starting? What
Yeah.
if you're just starting and you know every dollar counts? And if you're not making money, it's coming out of your banking account, not going into it. So I'm
Mhm,
extremely excited about this. Um, so what we have a bit of a comparison because I've got the pro version of Restream now. I will get a recording and I'll manually load this again, which does take a lot of time. But what I'm thinking about for the new year is when I do my longer shows, when I start that again, what I'll do is I'll load the replay to Substack so that people can at least watch the replay and it's in one central spot. And then Substack will create smaller snippets. And the thing that's great about Substack is it's very modular, which means that if you come back tomorrow and you've got an idea, you can add it to the bottom. And you can just keep going, adding, oh, here's the link to the YouTube video. And guess what? I finally found that Substack version, and here's the Substack version. Or you might find, and what I do, if you look at what I'm doing on Substack, at the bottom of my posts, I always have this additional resources button, and it takes you to more articles that are inside Substack. I've got 22 articles now. So
mhm.
what I do is if you're listening to this video, then you may also be interested in the one I did last week. Right? And I'll put it down the bottom. Now, this is what we call dwell time. So the real trick with the internet is to get people to stay on your site for as long as possible. That's the trick. That's the secret. So if you have a little post, and that's good, and then you go, and if you like that, yeah, stick around. Hang on, coming soon. There's a new show here. Click here. There's a new one, and you want to keep like binging. When you watch your favorite show and you're going, "Oh, that was good. Is there any more?" Have you ever had that experience where you're watching a show and suddenly you realize you've watched 3 in a row?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it's good when they have it where it just goes right in a playlist of some kind of format,
It's automatic, isn't it?
Mhm.
I know
Yeah.
you don't watch a lot of TV, but have you ever had that experience where you're watching something and suddenly you realize, hang on, I just watched 3 of them? Are you a binger?
Yeah, I've done that before. Yeah, if I watch, I usually binge.
Yeah. So you're sitting there and you're going, oh, look, it's only 8:30. I might watch another one. And they roll around like they just start. So what I'm doing with Substack in a sort of a manualized way is I'm saying, okay, well, if you like this video, click here and it takes you to another video, and I want to keep you on the site, right? And so it's very, very important that we have this discussion, because I know that most of my friends are getting almost zero traction on YouTube, zero, and it's a lot of effort. So we did that show we did on Monday. Were you part of that little experiment we did with Americo this week, Bez?
And I don't think so. Jim was there, right? It was yesterday.
No, Jim was there yesterday, but the day before we did this experiment with Americo.
I think I may have this week because we went to Substack, I believe.
Yeah. So what happened? This is amazing. Americo said, "Look, let's run an experiment for 20 minutes. It won't take long. Won't take long. I promise. It won't take long." And 2 hours later, we're still going because we were so into it. Like, what happens if we do this? And have you heard of this one? And geez, that's going well. Now that video has had 157 views since Monday. 157 views since Monday. Now that same video on YouTube has had 10 views. It's the same show. It's the same topic. What's going on? It's got like 15 times more engagement. Obviously, you got to go where the people are, right? And another show we did with Americo, same format, had 250 views, right? And on, we're getting 10 views on YouTube. So my job with all of this is to make sure that we maximize our time. I get very frustrated if I run a show that goes an hour and 10 people watch it. I mean, it is 10 people. That's 10 people that didn't hear about me before, but you don't know who they are, and they never contact you, right? And maybe one day they will, but you don't know, right? It's very frustrating. So I'm always quantifying what's going on, and Americo can talk about this a lot because he's building a community. We were talking, Bez, about the idea of communities and how much they cost, and how Substack is free to use and they take 10%. What's your community, and how much does it cost you? And is it paying for itself, or are you covering that cost for now?
Well, I have a small community, and I'm running a 12-week career sprint, and that one costs $100 a month. So that's what that one is charging. But the group is small, and it's okay because I get to test things out. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's not that big. I'm hoping to launch properly, maybe maybe November timeframe. A Black Friday, and do something really big, and go from there. But maybe pick up a few more people. But I'm actually looking to pick up more people for my program, which is a year. So I'm actually that's where I really would like to pick up people, because it's very intentional, and it gives me more time, because sometimes when you're you know somebody who's have experience, and you're a senior level, it may take 6 months to a year to really get something going, right? Because you're very specific, and you're typically not applying, you're getting headhunted. So it's a little bit different, right? So yeah, that's where I'm
Yeah.
at.
Look, it's very important. And for you, you're wearing that cost. It's only $7 a month. I think you said $9 a month. It's $9 a month.
Well, right now I'm doing the Alex Hermosi, so I have 3 months for free for the $99 one.
Oh, okay.
But right now I'm testing the big one, but we'll see how it goes. I can always downgrade it if I want.
Yeah. Have you heard of School, Lachelle? Have you heard us talking about this new site called School?
Yes, I've heard of School, and I think some people have invited me to that. I don't think I've, been on it to kind of. I think I'm a part of a couple of things. I get emails around it, but I haven't been on there to engage or anything.
It's very good, but it does cost from day one. And this is why I'm extremely excited about Substack. Like most people listening to these shows have no idea how much money it costs us to create this free content. Like it actually costs us money to create free content. You can't know that unless you try it yourself. So Restream, for instance, is $30 a month. That's coming out of my pocket. And so I'm not going to be able to do that forever. So I might slip back to the free version in the new year, but I wanted to try this Substack thing, and that was pretty cool. But it's all part of the fun. Bez, how is that 12-week sprint going? And are people finding jobs as a result, or as I said, does it take a lot longer than probably expected?
Actually, I have a private client that got a job recently. I have another one that just got a job. Actually, three relatively, with some of the changes I told them to make, and so they're super excited. But yeah, it's quite fascinating. So I'm sort of excited about that they've gotten that. Actually, my first one that took my program, she got a job in 4 months after, but she knew she was going to get laid off, and then but we started right away, and was just one of those things that, we, with just following the program and going through the process, was able to to land the job, and that was pretty cool for them. Pretty
You
cool.
mentioned a very good point. I think it was JFK said the best time to mend a hole in the roof is when the sun is shining. Imagine that there's a storm coming and you've got a hole in the roof. Not only are you trying to fix the hole in the roof, but there's rain coming in.
Right.
But on a sunny day, you think, look, one day it is going to rain. I better fix this hole in the roof. No one thinks like this, right? So your job must be very hard because you only get people coming to you when they've lost their job and they need money right away and they're in a hurry. I lost my job. I need a job today.
Not necessarily. The most the people that are that is true, and they're the ones that typically join my group membership. But the ones that join my program, they already have jobs. In fact, there's one that's in there that he's trying to get promoted, and so he's trying to flex his leadership. And it was interesting because I didn't include that in my original framework for my my program. But what I ended up doing is I added an eighth pillar to my framework. So it started with 7, because what was interesting is I have rolled out leadership, innovative leadership development programs that we experimented and started from scratch, in my experience in corporate America. And I've done, counseled leaders in companies. I've done a lot in that aspect around the people side. And so I just didn't think it was in my inventory. I had forgot about it. But when the person came to him, I was like, well, I've done that. No need to send them away. And so I included it, and it was really easy because I had done it so much. It was like it was like riding a bike, right? So sometimes when people come to you, they come to you. It's interesting because you have developed a relationship with you, and they think you're the person that can help 'em, right? And it's not like they they were sold from day one. It just happened to be the right opportunity, and when they needed it, that you're their person. They're coming to you. So the people that actually come to me, the ones that come into my 1 year program, they actually have jobs. In fact, the one that was going to laid off, she actually had a job. Knew she was getting laid off, but but quickly. And then I even negotiated her pay and got her more money because it was a bonus I had in my program. And they said, "Is that really for reals?" And I was like, "Yeah." But I said, "Do you have the guts to let me take over negotiations?" They say, "Yes, I'll talk to the CEO, and I'd rather you deal with him because I'm not getting anywhere." And sure enough, I got them some more money.
Yeah. I agree. I think the best time to apply for a job is when you have a job. And what do
Hmm.
you do for people that have, and this must happen, they just accidentally, or they don't get, they don't sort of see the writing on the wall, and they suddenly laid off and they got nothing. Where do you,
Right.
how do you approach that? How do you help them?
Usually, what I do is we start with their LinkedIn profile. They come referred, or they've seen something I've done and they want to talk. And so that's really what ends up happening. And we just start with, what are they trying to do? Where do they want to go? And I usually look at their LinkedIn profile, ask them to make some tweaks and, some suggestions, right? And from there, um, they're like, "Hey, great." And sometimes, I send them off and I never see them again. And sometimes, I do, now I tell them, "Hey, I've got this program. You can jump in right now, and, it's up to you. But hey, here's what we're going to do." And it's just depending who they are, where they're from. I can tell if what program they're going to be good for, because my 1 year program, you're not going to see it advertised out there. You're going to have to I'm going to have to interview you, right? You got to, because I've made the mistake of actually having the wrong person in my program, and it was a disaster.
Yeah, because it
We had
spoils
to
the
go our
broth.
separate
It
ways.
spoils the broth, isn't it? The bad apple.
Yeah, you get one bad apple in there, it can ruin it for the rest. So
One of
yeah.
the things that's very cool, and I'm doing this on purpose, Bez, because Substack will create little snippets. So I'm hoping Substack creates a little snippet for this. We can send it to Samira, our friend in Iran, who's looking for a
Oh
job.
yeah, I saw. I got a message. I started to listen to it, then I got interrupted. Can you tell me a little bit more about the backstory so I know a little bit what's going on?
Yeah, it's a very interesting idea. There must be a lot of people. Samira lives in Iran,
Hmm.
who say, look, I wouldn't mind moving from where I live because I don't like where I live for whatever reason. The
Right.
politics, the landscape, the people, whatever. So Samira wants to move, right? She wants to move
Right.
anywhere, really, but she wants to move either to the US or to Australia or to Dubai or the UAE or even England,
Okay.
anywhere but Iran, right? So
Okay.
I said, well, that's fine. The jobs have got to be there. What skills do you
Hmm.
have? And your desire to want a job doesn't magically make that job happen.
Right.
You've got to have a skill for that need. But when I heard that you've got this program, I thought, well, there's a chance for her to get started.
Right.
She's desperately unhappy in Iran, which she would be, I guess, because she believes it's quite an oppressive regime. That's
Hmm.
not my opinion. That's what she said. So she's unhappy there, and she wants to move from that area to another area. And I'd imagine you'd get a lot of these, people wanting to move.
Ah,
Yeah. What do you think?
I, I I think it's a great. I mean, the only thing I have to think, I'm willing to help them. It's interesting you say this because my first client who I ended up getting a job, that, in 4 months, she would like to move outside of her country into another country. So we sat down a couple weeks ago and crafted a strategy with a blank sheet of paper. I go, have you thought about this? Have you did this? We went through that process, and it was really fascinating just how, when you sit down and how with a blank sheet of paper, how you can really come up with some ideas. Now, this would be the other way. This person would be wanting to come this way. So that's pretty fascinating, actually.
Yeah, it's a good challenge. I mean, the
Hmm.
jobs have got to be there, and she's got to have the skills that match that job. And there's got to be
Right.
there's a couple. It's not like someone moving from the suburbs for a job in the city. They already live there. They're a citizen of the country. They already know the rules. Someone coming from outside, there's obviously a few layers to go through. But anyway, I wanted to set that tone because we've now connected on it. You know who it is, and she's very
Hmm.
keen. Like, she's extremely excited about it. And this is why it's very important to have various levels. Like the $100 program might not suit her yet, but she may get there eventually. And so she's got to have,
Well,
yeah.
let me ask her, does she have the means to get coached and to have someone help her? I guess that's really important because I mean, maybe you don't know. That's something I will find out. But if she's looking to move, that's it's interesting. It that whole process is not cheap, right? Because you're talking about visas and the whole 9 yards,
Yeah.
and attorneys and stuff like that, which I have access to. So that'll be interesting to find out a little bit more about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be very interesting to see how you go. In the coaching game, we have two major priorities. One is willingness to pay and ability to pay.
Right. Hmm.
We are very nice people, and we sometimes do things pro bono, but we can't pay our bills if nobody pays us.
Right.
Can't. How can you? I mean, we have got bills. So
Hmm.
the two things that we need to consider is ability to pay, but more importantly, willingness to pay. And some people, for some reason, just will not pay. They want
Right.
help and they're happy to accept it for free, but they just will not ever pay you. And in a way, what you're saying is that you're going to have a limited sort of opportunity list if you don't pay a professional. Yeah.
Right. Right. And I think I'll find that out. That's a question for me. But you're making me think now, because there's probably been in that aspect where you can help people come the other way, right? And to a few countries, right?
Yeah, she's got a couple of suggestions. I mean, she can go to the UAE. Dubai's a pretty thumping place. I've never been there, but
Mhm.
I got a few mates that live there. She's happy to go to the UK. She obviously is happy to come to Australia. That's a pretty cool town. Well, I mean, everyone wants to come to Australia, but
Mhm. Mhm.
the jobs have got to be here. Right?
Right. Mhm.
The jobs have got to be here for her to come. And of course, the employer's going to ask, and I don't know how this happens, but the employer's going to ask, well, I've got a guy that lives up the road that lives in my town, and he's got 2 babies and a wife, and he lives near the beach, and he's paying a mortgage, and he's just as good. Why would I give
Right.
that job to someone who's got to come from overseas and set up a house and, get a visa? And why should I put up with all that when I've got someone right now who lives in my town? As an employer,
Well, yeah.
what's the advantage of it? This is a very interesting question. What's the advantage of employing someone from overseas if you've got talent locally?
Well, that's the thing. They have to have a special skill set that it's not readily available, and there is a talent shortage here. I mean, we as United States, we have a consumption, an appetite for talent, so we love to consume and hire good people, and sometimes we have a hard time finding those people here. Give you an example. Here in my area, it's a big farming community, um, but the locals won't work the farms. So what do the farmers do? They go get people what we call agriculture visa, and they import them in droves. So give you an example. here in Georgia, little old Georgia, it's the number 2 importer of people who they import on an agriculture visa. Only second to the big old state of California. Now, what's the number 1 driver of industry and revenue in Georgia? Agriculture.
Yeah.
And so, you're like, wow, when you start to look at data, you can see trends and why, hey, if an area doesn't have people that will work, then there's opportunity to bring people in. So there is definitely opportunity. So there's plenty of work out there, and I know sometimes people just don't want to work, and so employers are looking for people that want to
Yeah,
work.
they don't want to do that job. I get it. I mean, I totally get it. I mean, I wouldn't pick apples.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't pick apples. I mean, unless I was starving.
But you like to eat apples, right?
That's right. I don't mind
Yeah.
eating them, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
pick. I wouldn't spend a hard day in the fields in the sun picking.
Right. Mhm.
I mean, I don't mind doing that, but there's people that think, well, geez, I need the money. It's easy work. Sure, I get a bit hot and maybe I get my hands dirty, but it's easy work. But it's work I'd rather not do. So there's
True.
certain things I don't mind doing. There's no way I'd work on fixing cars, say, I'd never do that. Doesn't matter how much money you pay me, I wouldn't do it. I hate cars. So in a country where we have abundance and plenty of jobs, I'd imagine one of the challenges, this is a very good discussion to talk about with Samira, is there is holes in the market where there are jobs to be had, but no one wants to do them.
Right.
Country towns, hundreds of kilometers from the city, are paying $200,000 to drive a truck. But who wants to drive a truck 200 kilometers from a main town? What are you going to do on the weekends? There's nowhere to eat. There's no restaurants. You can't get a signal
Well,
on.
there is. You'd be surprised. These farming and rural areas have very robust farm to table and very quaint non-chain restaurants that are some of the best you'll ever eat at. And so, that's really interesting to see. I mean, Lachelle, you're in Atlanta. You can probably find any cuisine you want, but if you went up any part of rural Georgia, you'd find a different type of cuisine, and you'd be all right. Here in the United States, you're going to be all right.
Yeah.
You could run into food deserts, and
Yeah.
that is an issue. But I mean, hey, there's a lot of options, at least in where I'm at right now, and it's
Well, one thing,
yeah.
it's good to chat about this, and I'm doing it mainly for Samira. So I'm riffing really to make this up, but I wanted to get a bit of an understanding as how someone like you, a headhunter, can support someone who's coming from another town, another country.
Right.
And so
Mhm.
there would be jobs in the US and the UAE and the UK that no one wants to do locally that Samira might be able to do willingly, because she's got the extra advantage that she wants to move, right?
Right.
She is
Mhm.
settled. She wants to change. And people who want to change are incredibly motivated to do things that maybe they wouldn't do if things were going okay. Yeah?
Right. Right.
So anyway, what
Yeah.
we'll do,
Mhm.
I'll send this to Samira for you. This is your choice. If you think you can
Yeah.
help, I've opened the floodgates, and this is exactly what we
Thank
talk
you.
about here. We talked about this, and I'll morph into this in a minute. What Americo is doing here, and I hope he can come in and talk about this, is he's worked out that there's a need for people to practice this stuff. That's his niche now. He's going to do road trips about it. He's going to go to local businesses about it. And he's going to be the guy that coaches people to push the live button. Because I would imagine, and this is a very good segue, I might even play a little bit of a sound to start that off. You're listening to KKFM, and the conversation has changed to coaching and community. My very good friend Americo in Toronto is starting a community for people who want to practice this in a very sort of supportive arrangement. We had a very good chat about this yesterday. And I think that a lot of people are not willing to go live and make a fool of themselves with no preparation. Now that's just human, isn't it? What do you think, Lachelle? Do you think there's a room for a nice community of people that can get together and practice without the fear of judgment?
Absolutely. I just know for myself, when I first got started, I had that fear of, if whatever I'm talking about, if it's making any sense, is it what people want to hear? And then there's a whole dynamic to going live because you're worried about what you're going to say, but then you get on there, then you have technical things that can trip you up, or you're trying to read the comments and remember what you're saying, and is your audio working? I mean, it's so many different things. Do you have anything that you want to pin, so maybe there's a link that you want to, do you want it scrolling across the screen? Are you changing the visual aspect while you're going live? I mean, it's just a lot. Okay. And you don't really realize that until you just get started. So it is a journey, even though you take the time to jump, right? But there's still so many things to learn during the process. And this is why I think it's so important to have community because, in those moments when maybe you're not able to go live, but you can be in the audience and support with questions or engagement to keep the show going. I mean, it's just so many moving parts to it that you really can't prepare somebody for everything without them just taking the leap and doing it. It's one of
This
those
is our
things you
thoughts
just gotta
exactly.
learn. Mhm.
This is our thoughts exactly, because what I mentioned, I'm very proud of this. And maybe no one knows this story, so to speak, but in 1984, when I moved to Melbourne as a very young person, I went to radio school 3 nights a week. I would had a day job, which I hated, but I did it because it was the only way I could pay the mortgage or pay the rent at that time. And I went to radio school 3 nights a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then on the weekends, this guy had set up a radio station in his house, and which did actually go out to real people, like within a 20-kilometer radius. And we practiced being radio announcers. Like we got really, really good. Like we got really good because we were practicing like 3 times a week. And some of those people got jobs, and some of them are quite famous. But some of them didn't. But we all got quite good because we were practicing. And in the days we were practicing, like we weren't judging each other. Oh, that was stupid. Come on, mate, you can do better. But it says, oh, look, that was all right. You can do better than that, but we can help you. And we were all learning from each other. It was unbelievable. And so with that in mind, America is going to do this now with a little community. I just think that's so cool. Is that sort of what you do with your community, Bez? Do you have a somewhat similar thing?
Where for the career coaching where
Yeah.
and I have resources and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll do some Zoom calls. I've even done now I can do them in school, but I'll also do them in I could do them in Go Brunch. But what I like about school, I have a place like a forum. And the thing about I don't have the heartbeat, but I have the school, which is simple, and people like simple for whatever reason.
Yes.
They like that minimalist, and it's not complicated, so it works. It doesn't overwhelm, or sometimes some people, it's sort of underwhelming for me, but people like it. I don't know.
It's very important. Look, this is an extremely important conversation. Simplicity is a product. Like we pay for simplicity. I love this site called BritBox, just talking about binging. BritBox.com. I watch a
Mhm.
show, I push stop. The next day, I come back, and the next show's queued up. I don't have to find it. I don't have to go looking for it. It just starts. I'm very happy to pay $10 a month to have television on demand with no ads. The
Mhm.
simplicity factor is so compelling. I could probably find those shows for free on YouTube if I really tried hard. But,
Right.
they'd be sort of patchy and sloppy, and there'd be ads there, and you couldn't get in, and then maybe some problems. So simplicity is probably the biggest hack. Actually, I'm hoping they'll pick this up. Simplicity. What I'm doing now is I'm trying to predict what Substack's going to do. So I'm going to play a little song. This is quite a lot of fun. Simplicity is a hack. People will pay for convenience. So we all have our favorite streaming site, which costs $10 or $20 a month. Some of them have ads, some of them don't. Some people pay to have the ads removed, and it's a hack. Do you agree, Bez, that people will pay for convenience? That's why you're using School, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, because I could try to build it myself, but I don't have the time. I barely have the time to upload the videos up there and put like a document. Because I actually teach with a Google document, and you'd be surprised. It works. People like simplicity. You don't have to, go and do a whole Canva thing. It it really is something that people end up liking the simplicity of it. So I mean, I'm here to tell you, you can teach your program with a Google Doc, and I do that. And something that I'm doing, I have this big uh, spreadsheet that we keep track of KPIs in this 12-week career sprint, because um, we're taking everything, we're using the concept from the book called The 12-Week Year, and we're condensing into 12 weeks. So what you would normally get in a year, we're actually condensing into 12 weeks. It's a concept. And so you've got to do things that matter, take out the fluff, do less meetings, and what you do is you take that big number, the goal you set, and you put it, like, what's that number? You break it down per month, then you break it down per day, week, then you break it down per day, and that number isn't so big. And sometimes it's so small, you say, well, I can do more.
Hmm.
And so then you work it back the other way.
I know you love the
Um,
I just
12-week year, haven't, don't you?
Yeah, I just read that. But now, so explain the concept of the Google Doc, because you said you don't do the Canva or anything. So, and now this is for peers that
your
you're doing the
program.
Google with, or this is for clients? Explain that part.
Yeah, for clients, like, yeah. And I was edified because there's another guy I picked up a little bit of what they're doing, and he does it on a Google Doc, and it's just simple. And I was like, my clients love the Google Doc. I go in there, and he's doing the same with his, and they love it too. He says simple works, and I'm like, yeah, I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I don't need um to try to make it fancy, because you're you know you put it on a Google Doc. There's little templates in Google you can use. You can make your own, and you teach off the Google Doc, and they have something tangible in their hand after everything that they could use, they could refer it to. and
Mm.
and and I teach it live, and then I can give the recording, but nobody's gonna go watch the recordings.
Yeah.
I mean, not unless you're coming in and you're gonna catch up. But yeah, I teach live with off a Google Doc, sometimes a Google Sheet, and there we go. And what I've done, Lachelle, is I've gotten away from trying to fire hose them down with all this greatness and knowledge that I have. I've
Mhm.
gotten more into, because look, what I don't like is when they not are not doing the work.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you yell, I got an hour with them, I'm gonna pour everything into them, you overwhelm them, and they
Mhm.
can't even take action, right?
Mhm.
So I actually went to the group and I said, look, I'm noticing I'm getting blank stares. I'm not and I'm not here just to take the money. I'm here for transformation. And so that's not filling my cup when you are not doing the work. Okay.
Mhm.
And so I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a micro learning. We're going to do 15 minutes of that. And then we'll send the next 45 minutes or so implementing. And they all
Oh,
were like so
I
glad
love
I did that.
I love that.
Because here's what happens, Lachelle and Keith. Everybody has great intentions, but
Mhm.
then they walk out and then life hits them. They got to do this, they got to do that. And so they come back at the next session and they haven't done what they needed to do so I can take them to the next step,
Yeah.
right? And the fundamentals. And so in this 12-week career sprint, we don't have time to play. It is pedal to the metal. We're iterating every week if we need to. We just got started, and so we're going to start ramping up. In fact, in my program, if they're in it, I give them a free CRM, and it's a very simple CRM. But I partner with somebody where they've given me access to a free CRM, and they get it for life. So
Mhm.
yeah,
That's good
now
stuff.
they have some. Yeah, they have something to execute on, right? Like they can track the things. So it takes what normally they would have tracked on a Google sheet, and it lets them automate and do some things so they can actually because see stuff just falls through the cracks on a Google sheet. But if you call somebody, send them an email, send them a text, what if a couple days later that got automated, right? And it would send it like a follow up, like hey, you didn't hear from that email, or you called, left a message, and the CRM will, like if you set up the automation, it'll remind you, hey, you need to call this person, or hey, or they'll send the email, or we actually have an SMS feature that they can add to it, which is they're fractions of a penny. If you set up a Twilio account, it's really not that much. And so yeah, it's just some cool things to extend it, take it to the next level. But yeah, just I'm testing stuff out. Sometimes stuff doesn't work,
Mhm.
and and I always tell them to test my hypothesis. I want to learn from them too. I want them to tell me things aren't working, and I want to iterate myself because I know, like, give you an example. My wife got interviewed by an AI
Wow.
voice interview.
Wow, tell me about that.
Mm.
That's exciting. What
Yeah.
happened?
She had to have the room quiet because where it would pick up stuff, she went to, because I have my own office, and she went, she had but I walked in the middle of it and it messed it up. So she had to take it again. But yeah, it's an AI voice interview. It talks to them like a person. And actually, someone had approached me about a year and a half earlier, and they had this technology, but they wanted me to pay 100,000 for it. And I was like, oh man, I could see so possibilities. But what scared me away was one, because they said, well, we'll help you finance it. And I was like, okay, that sounds interesting. I can see. But then the opportunity that I wanted to use case just didn't materialize. I was like, okay, I'm not going to do it if I can't get this use case. But then what scared me away is that they had one developer.
Mm.
And I don't know if you remember seeing it on Facebook. They released it out there. It was called like some air
Airmate?
air AI. Huh?
Airmate?
It was like some, they released it on Facebook, and everybody's like, "Wow, what the?" And you could hear an interaction between an AI sales agent and an actual person, and it would even say, "Hey, I'm an AI, but hey, how are you doing?" And but but yeah. Anyways, my wife. So you think things are changing in the industry? There's certain positions that you may get interviewed by an AI. How do you handle that? Right? How do you prepare for that? Because it's not that hard. It asks you questions, and a series of questions that they prompt, and there you go. And then you get your result. My wife actually got, of that AI interviewed, she got a real in-person interview. Two people interviewed her on Zoom, and there you go. She got a second step interview because of the AI interview.
Wow. One of the things you may know this, Bez, and this is a very good segue into what I'm going to wrap up soon because I want to experiment with the recording. But Zakia talking about all these things that pop up and you get excited and they cost a lot of money and there's a special deal going. Zakia is a AppSumo junkie, right? And everyone talks about the
Yeah.
one that got away and everyone talks about the one that they win. But she coined this phrase the other day called poppers. I don't know if you've heard this phrase. So on AppSumo, someone will say, look, this is going to be a amazing product, and if you join today for $99 you can have it forever. At one time you just pay once and you can have it forever, and then 3 months down the track they says, oh, it's not working, we're closing it down. They call them poppers.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had a situation where you've paid a bucket of money for a site you thought was going to be great value and then it just died off? Or are you more likely to
I
buy?
haven't.
No? Okay. Yep. It just
I haven't
you
paid. I
haven't had a
haven't done that
situation.
where I paid a bunch of money and it died off. Well, let me see. Let me double check. No, I have not. I mean, I keep it simple with what the tools I use. So, it.
Have you had any
Uh,
experience where you bought something but not used it? Oh, Lachelle's just
oh
disappeared.
yeah, Riverside FM. I bought that and got a Black Monday, and I regret not using it. Then I reached out to them. Can I get a do over? They said no.
What do you mean? Wasn't it a lifetime deal?
No,
It was.
it was a Black Friday special, the Thanksgiving special, and they don't have a lifetime deal on Riverside FM, and it was a heavy discount, which
Okay.
I'm sure they'll have it again. But
Yeah, well, Black Friday's
yeah,
coming up. They all have these Black Friday discounts.
yeah,
What I might do, Bez, is I've sent this link to Samira.
okay,
So that's a very good chance for her to talk about your community. I've had a bit of a chance to talk about Americo's community, even though he's not here to talk about it himself. What I might do is I might wrap up. We've been chatting
okay,
for an hour and a half. We have been chatting about multi-streaming, and the experiment was to send the file to LinkedIn, YouTube, and Substack. Substack didn't work, and I'm a bit annoyed
hmm
about that. I don't know why it didn't work. I don't know. I've got to work that out, but it didn't work. So that's part of the process of experimenting. Yesterday, LinkedIn didn't work, but Substack did work. Today, LinkedIn worked, but Substack didn't work, and I'm trying to get all three to work together. We believe that Substack has reached what we call early majority. It's reached a threshold where it's critical mass. People are starting to talk about it in the field. Most of the people that we respect are using it and jumping on it. It's been going a while, but it's starting to hit threshold. I am going to be doing a lot of experiments about this. So if you've got any questions at all, please let me know, and I'll put those up into upcoming shows. But what I'll do now is I'll play my new theme song for the show that's coming up. This was created on Suno. I'm not pretending that I wrote it because I didn't. But if you want to go to what's happening on the show, go to whereiskeithtoday.com. I think that'll come up as a default. Does it? No, it doesn't. Coming soon, whereiskeithtoday.com, and that'll take you through to the new shows coming up in November. I'm doing a 4-week series called Repurpose 3030. You can probably Google that. So I'm going to play the extended version of the song, and that'll take us out. And then I'll take this video and put it onto Substack, and we'll see how it goes. Yesterday, I had 4 views on YouTube, and on Substack, I had 88 views. 22 times more experience or exposure, same amount of effort. It's pretty simple. It's pretty interesting. So let's contemplate that for 60 seconds, and then I'll go and do some recordings.